All right, what is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast weekly real estate tip, where every single week I come to you sharing different tips, tactics, and strategies that I've learned in my 20-year-long real estate journey that allowed me to become one of the top realtors and team leaders on the planet, with selling well over 7,000 homes, and sharing this information with you in hopes that you take this information in, take massive action on it, and go out there and create that business and life that you truly know that you want and deserve. All right, so today I'm going to talk to you about the power of consistency and how your daily habits shape your overall real estate success. Look, one of the biggest frustrations in this industry is the roller coaster, man. The roller coaster months, sometimes the roller coaster years. All of a sudden, you have a big epic month or two, followed by 3 crappy months. And it's that inconsistency in income where it's just ups and downs and a wild ride. I remember taking a hike one time with another realtor, and he kind of said a joke. He was like, when people ask me if I do drugs, he goes, nope, I get enough highs and lows, being a realtor, where I don't need drugs for that to experience that shit, and I thought it was pretty comical. But I want you to understand this is a choice. This is a decision. There's no need for you to experience the roller coaster, whether roller coaster months, roller coaster years. There is no reason that you need to have the ups and downs unless you enjoy it. If you enjoy it and that's what you want to experience, then go do that, right? But I know that you don't want that, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast here. So understand that this is a choice, and actions show what it is that we truly value. You can say that you don't want these things, but understand words are hollow. Actions show what we truly value. This is why I'm a big believer in don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. Actions show what they truly value. So if you're serious about this, okay, we're going to solve this problem here today. I'm going to make sure that you are a consistent freaking machine, that you have the right daily habits, so that way your business can continue to, it can just continue consistent income. Whether that is, hey, I want to make the consistent same income month over month. Maybe you're happy with your income. Maybe you're making 50, 60 G's a month and life's getting pretty damn good. And you're like, hey, I just want to continue this. Or maybe you're one of the crazy freaks like me that's hardcore driven. That's not so much about the money, but just about growth and expansion. So it's bigger than the money, which is like, hey, I want to grow every year. I want to get better and better and better and better, more and more and more, just because it's a personal challenge like it is for me. So maybe you're one of those driven freaks like that. Okay, well, that's, we want to have that consistent growth over time, right? So either way, whichever one of those equations that you fall on, I'm going to get you dialed in here today. Now, first, I want to lead off by a quote that, I just love. And this quote is by Heraclitus. So it's day by day, what you choose, what you think, and what you do is who you become. So thinking about this, if you want consistent income or that consistent growth, like we just talked about, this all boils down to consistent, right daily actions taken each and every single day, day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out. And look, eventually, you don't necessarily need to take these consistent actions, if you plug in the right leverage pieces. Like if you look at right now, okay, there was a period in time where I was having to work 80-hour weeks every single week like crazy in my real estate business. Now today, maybe I work 2 hours in my real estate business, running my real estate team. It took me a decade to build out, putting the right people in place, building all the systems, like building a machine, where then I could step away from the day-to-day in the machine and, put in the right people running the machine. So then now I just got to, those couple hours that I spent a week on it is just, hey, making sure the machine's running, QCing certain things. So now, hey, I got to continue to have a business that grows, continue to make more money. But now I get to go out there and enjoy life or do things, the things I enjoy doing, like this podcast and, coaching and helping realtors, team leaders, and broker owners from all over the country grow and scale their business. You get to go out there, or if I didn't want to do those things, I could just go fucking chill, right? So I guess what I'm saying with this is eventually you don't necessarily have to show up if that's what you want, but you got to put those pieces first. Because if you stop before you got the pieces in place first, and you got the machine built first, then everything else stops, right? Okay, so now the question then becomes okay, Josh, I know this, I get this, I understand this. Now, how the hell do I freaking do it, right? So the other thing here too I want to walk you through is, look, I don't want you to think that just because you haven't been consistent to this point. This is something that is a learned trait. It's not wiring. It is not based on willpower. This is something that can be developed, that can be built 1000%. So I want you to remove any limiting beliefs that you have right now. I'm somebody that used to be extremely inconsistent, that had zero willpower. If I had a lot of willpower and if I was super consistent, I wouldn't allow myself to become morbidly obese and get up to close to 300 pounds. I wouldn't allow myself to become a raging freaking alcoholic for the vast majority of my adult life. So these are things that I had to, like, these weren't wiring, right now. I was talking with, my fitness coach the other day, my fitness coach and mentor. Now, this is somebody that trains, like Olympic athletes, professional athletes. And he said to me, and I was, kind of shocked that he even, said this to me. But he made a comment that I'm the most disciplined person he's ever met, or worked with. And obviously it's a huge compliment because this guy works with a lot of freaking badasses, right? But I kind of started reflecting on it. Like, that's interesting, right? Because I'm also somebody that has no willpower, have like are very limited amounts of willpower, but because I do the things I'm going to walk you through here very intentionally, it makes it where a guy like me with no willpower. Because again, if I was wired this way and I had an insane amount of willpower, I wouldn't have became morbidly obese. I wouldn't have become massively depressed. I wouldn't have become a raging freaking alcoholic, or addicted to other substances like Adderall, like I allowed myself to do, and had to go through the battle and war of breaking those addictions and fighting off those demons. And, so this is more of a system, right? And these are things that can be developed. So now let's jump into, okay, what can we do for these activities and actions? Now, real quick, before I jump into the actual action steps here for you, I encourage you to visit www.gsdmode.com. That's my main website for the podcast here. And on there's additional free resources. So if you get a lot of value out of this podcast, highly encourage you to go over there. There's other you got my free ebook, which I walk through 42 top tips, a lot of different scripts and, action items on there. But specifically what I want you to do on there right now is register and take my 3-hour free in-depth masterclass, which is around how to 6 steps to grow, or 6 steps to 3xing your real estate business. 6 steps to 3xing or more your real estate business right now in this current market climate that we are in. So I'm going to walk you through, and again, this is 3 hours. So I know it's long, but I wanted to make it where, okay, you are not going to leave this training without knowing exactly what you need to do to put in place to go out there and kick ass from a strategic standpoint in your business in this challenging market that we're in, and not just grow your business, but you 100% can 3x your business right now in the next 12 months if you want to. And I've designed the training where not only am I going to share with you all the information, but at the end of the training, I give you the download because I created a whole entire slide deck. So not only are you getting the information while you're on it, but then now that slide deck becomes your playbook, your implementation playbook. So now you can also have success with execution implementation of this. So I'm not here to waste your time. It's 100% free, no strings attached. It's just, my gift to all of you guys that are watching and listening to this that, want to make sure that you have the blueprint to be armed to go out there and freaking murder it in this challenging time that we're in. So if you go to www.gsdmode.com, you'll see it right on the front page, or you click on free resources on the website. You'll see online masterclass. But I have it going on every day right now of the week. So I highly take advantage of that while it's up there and while it's available. Okay, so now let's get into, tactical steps of how to do this. Now, if you've been watching and listening to this podcast for a long time, you hear me talk about this all the time, but this is, I don't know of anything that's more powerful than this, man. This, like, clarity is power. So this is why I beat this damn thing to death. But you got to make sure that you have clarity on what you want, why you want it, why it's important to you. That then becomes the goal. So what you want is the goal, why you want it, why it's important to you becomes a purpose for the goal. The reason why you got to have the goal plus the purpose for the goal is there's always going to be 1,000 reasons as to why not to take the action steps that you must take. There's always going to be an excuse and a reason to why not show up and take the action. But usually there's only 1, 2, 3 reasons as to why to show up and do the action. And like the great Nietzsche said, when you have a strong enough why, you can endure anyhow. So the more clear on what you want, why you want it, why it's important to you, the higher the probability is that you're going to execute and take action on this. And I talked about earlier, my addictions to, food and my addictions to alcohol and other substances. So I had to learn this, when I was breaking addictions, but I started researching at a very high level people that had success with breaking addictions, and not just in the immediate, but long term. Because I was like, dude, I want to beat these demons forever. Like when I decided to, I was going to go on this battle of, you know, overcoming my issue with alcohol. I was like, dude, I don't want to just become sober for a year. Like I'd played that game before. I become sober for 3 months. Long as I'd went sober before this period of time was 12 months, made it 12 months. And then my dumbass decided to pick up a drink and I gave myself a reason, excuse. So like, no, dude, I need to, how do I position myself where I'm sober for the rest of my damn life? Where I don't touch a drink. I don't crave it. I don't want it. I beat this fucking demon. How do I do this? So I started studying at a very high level. Okay, those that had success long-term with beating addiction, right? So I believe in study other people that have had success and what you're looking to create success on. And the one commonality that I found, didn't matter what the addiction was not only did they have the goal of becoming sober or breaking that addiction, but every single one of them, at least that I researched and studied, that had long-term success was they had a purpose for that, like to become, like they had a defined, clear purpose, aka reason why that thing was important to them. Okay, so then from there, now you set the goal and the purpose for the goal. Next step is then we identify the best proven plan to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. Why is this important? Right? Because what do we need to be consistent on? We need to be consistent and develop the right habits so we can execute on the best proven plan to make our goal a reality. Like you can be consistent all day long, but if you're consistent on the wrong shit, or the wrong plan, you're never going to go out there and create the success that you want to create. We got to make sure that we're consistent on the right stuff. It's not enough to be consistent. It's not enough to work hard. Like you got to make sure that you are consistent, committed, and working hard on the right things, on the right plan to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. So taking the time to do the due diligence, to find the absolute best plan that you can come up with, that you can identify to get you from where you're at to where you want to go. Now we know the plan. Plan is important, but then the deeper issue is, okay, people's inability to consistently execute on the plan for the long enough period of time that they need to make sure that they then have the success that they want to go out there and create. That becomes the deeper underlying issue. So the plan is essential. You need the plan, but you can get the plan. But if you don't do the next steps I'm going to walk you through, then you fall victim to what everybody else falls victim to. I learned this as a personal trainer and also in real estate, coaching agents and, whatever is okay. People's inability to follow a plan consistently for a long enough period of time so they can see the results that they want to go out there and see. So now that you got the plan, the right proven strategy plan to get you from where you're at to where you want to go, now we get into the next steps. So the next steps is, okay, so before you start executing, next thing I want you to ask yourself is, okay, who must I become to be able to execute consistently on this? So now we're going to come up with what I call the becoming plan. I actually learned this from a mentor of mine. Like before I ever showed him a business plan, whatever, he's like, dude, show me a becoming plan first. So like identifying, okay, what are the habits for me to consistently execute on this plan daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, maybe even for a decade freaking straight? What are the habits that you must break? What are the habits that you must adopt in order to consistently execute on this plan? So what people don't realize is success isn't really, it's through actions. So I don't want to say it's not through taking actions, but where success really lies is in becoming the person that is capable of executing on that plan to make those goals a reality, right? So it really is a becoming process, right? So this is where, okay, we got to identify, again, what are the habits that you must adopt? What are the habits that you must break to consistently execute on this plan? And this is something that can always be changing. So this is where, doing your daily planning, doing your daily reflection. So if you did, like maybe you're supposed to execute today, you weren't able to execute. Okay, well, dude, like, why didn't I execute? And don't say something stupid. Like, now when I say this, like we all say this to ourselves, so I'm not calling you stupid for this. Well, the reason why I say don't say something stupid like is because this doesn't serve and support us. Don't say something like, oh, I just need to be better. I need to be stronger. That does not help. Right? No, like just remove emotions from this. What blocked you? What prohibited you from getting the shit done that you should have got done today? Right? What was the distractions? So then again, now we're identifying, okay, what are those habits I need to adopt? What are the habits I need to break? Maybe you got to adopt a habit of getting up earlier. Maybe you got to adopt a habit of going to bed sooner. Maybe you got to break a habit of binging Netflix before you go to bed, so you can get to bed on time, to get rested up, to be able to have the energy to execute, that you need throughout that day. Maybe you need okay, the habit I got to break is binge watching TV. Maybe you just got to break the habit of watch TV altogether. Maybe you were like me, and okay, alcohol was prohibiting me from getting that next level because I freaking popped my first drink every day by noon. So I only could create so much success in real estate. Started blocking certain success in business and life. So I had to break that habit with that thing, right? So another way of looking at this, and I learned this exercise from Tony Robbins. It's called the should versus must list. Just make a list of all the things that you should be doing to make your goals a reality. Make a list of here's all the things I should be doing, right? Then you take that should, cross it out. Now this becomes your non-negotiable must list, but then from there, in order for you to take those must daily actions each and every single day. Again, what are the habits that you need to break and what do you need to adopt to execute on those things? Then from there, now this is going to be tough for a lot of you. And for some of you, maybe you can just go take action on all this shit all at once. Some people are freaks like that, and freaks in a good way. That's not me though. But here's the thing is, okay, if you are just chipping away at one habit at a time. So let's just say it takes you 2 months to break a bad habit or adopt a new habit. So that's 6 new habits that you've either adopted or broken every single year. And this is the way that I do it. So then that way I'm only focused on one habit at a time, because I've just found, like, even, okay, when I lost my 100 pounds, when I, decided, okay, I'm sick and tired of being morbidly obese, being over 100 pounds overweight, having no energy, hating my body, being depressed because of it. When I got fed up and tired with it, like, I couldn't go all of a sudden from eating freaking Taco Bell and Burger King and bullshit every single day to eating a strict diet. That was way too extreme for me. I couldn't do it. So then from there, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to work on meal number 1. And the rest of my day, I'll eat all the same shit. I'm just going to work on meal number 1. Did that for about 60 days. Once that became easy, became a habit, no longer had to think about it. Okay, then I kept meal number 1 in place. Then I just started working on meal number 2. 60 days later, now I'm working on meal number 3, right? So then from there, okay, yeah, it might have taken me 4 or 5 months, 6 months or whatever, but now I developed the habits where then, okay, I had control over my diet, developed the right habits, so this is what I like. So for me, it's just, I'm just working on one habit. I'm not trying to go for these extremes. I'm just trying to, either I'm trying to add a new habit or break a new habit at once, just one at a time, because this is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. This is a marathon. Don't think that you got to rush into this shit and have everything perfect. But here's the thing. I remember being interviewed by Inc. magazine radio several years ago. And the host is asking me about, my routines and, all these different things. And I remember at one point, he's just like, hold on, what? He's like, dude, you are a freak of nature, but that's the thing is, for 20 years straight, I have just been working. So 20 years is the reason why I say that. That's when my success journey began. I have just been working on one habit, whether it's small, big, at what time. But then after a freaking decade, really after a couple of years of doing that, you become unrecognizable to the world and they think that you are a freak of nature. And then you got people telling you that coach and work with professional athletes and Olympic athletes telling you that you're the most disciplined human being that they ever met, even though if they would have sold me 20 years ago, I'd have been a laughing stock, right? But it's because, like, I'm not trying to go to these extremes. So I just want to share that in case that's helpful. But yeah, you got to apply patience. So that's why I said it's hard, because we're in this era now of 6-minute abs, telling 6-minute abs don't exist. A dude that rocks a 6-pack year round, 6-minute abs do not exist. Like, I train my abs 20 minutes a day, every single day, 6 days a week. And I eat the same 5 meals every single day. Like, so that shit is not a 6-minute deal, right? When it comes to that, just so there is no such thing as 6-minute abs. There is no, but again, I know with the Amazon world that we live in, people want instant gratification. You got to have an element of patience for success. Okay. So you got your habit plan now, and you got your plans, to go out there and develop those habits, adopt the right habits, break the bad habits. Then earlier I said, okay, I don't want you to have to rely on willpower, because here's the thing is even if you have more willpower than average, and I'm somebody that has probably lesser than average. I don't know if there's a way to measure that, but what I do know is, hey man, I got times where I have willpower, and then I got times where I don't, even in a single day. Like, dude, in the mornings, I got strong willpower. By the afternoon, especially evenings, my willpower is fucking shot. It's gone, right? So okay, even on a daily basis, it kind of comes and goes, right? So then from there, why would I rely on something that I can't even rely on? Like, why do I try to rely on this thing where sometimes I have it, sometimes I don't have it? So I am going to then allow myself to rig my environment. I'm going to set this, I'm going to put a system together. I'm going to walk you through here in a second, where I don't rely on willpower to be consistent. And consistency is just another word for self-discipline. And if you want to be successful, you got to have self-discipline. Another word for self-discipline, self-accountability. One of the biggest scams in our industry is coaches and people saying that they're going to hold you accountable. It's an impossibility. Nobody can hold you accountable. It is just not going to freaking happen. Nobody is going to babysit you 24/7. Nobody's going to sit at your bedside, crack the whip to get your ass out of bed. Nobody's going to hover over your shoulders. Right? Like nobody. It's like parents with kids. Oh, go brush your teeth. Oh, did you eat? Go do this, Billy. Go do this, Susie. Go, whatever. Like, no, dude, you got to metamorphosize and do. I'm sure you don't need your parents telling you to brush your teeth anymore. Sure you don't, right? Maybe some adults need that. But I'm sure you don't, right? But then from there, you got to ask yourself, do I want a child business or do I want an adult business? You had to metamorphosize into adult in other aspects of your life. Now you got to metamorphosize into adult inside your own real estate business. But even if somebody says, oh, I'm going to hold you accountable, like do a weekly call to check in, like, you can bullshit your way through that, and you're probably going to. So nobody's going to hover over you 24/7 and be that drill sergeant. You got to be that drill sergeant, right? So again, self-accountability, another word for self-discipline, another word for consistency. So how do we hold ourselves consistent on a daily basis without willpower? Okay, this is where it comes from: systems to environment. So it's twofold. So when I say, systems, okay, what do you need to put in place to ensure that it's easy as possible to win and as difficult as possible to lose? So systems and environment go hand in hand with these. So example with this, I get up super early, have for a lot of years. Used to get up earlier than I do today. As I get older, I need a little bit more sleep than I used to be able to get away with. For years, it's 3 a.m. wake ups every single day. Now today, for the last year or so, I just discovered myself needing a little bit more sleep. So now I get up at 4 a.m. every day, but that's still like, I'm not a morning person naturally. So, but I know when my alarm's next to my bed, I'm too weak of a human being. I hit that snooze button every single time. So I just, okay, what's the system I can put in place? How do I rig my environment to have success with this thing to ensure I get up? Okay, I get the biggest, loudest alarm I possibly can get. I have it set across my room. So when that thing goes off, I got to jump out of bed, run, shut it off. Well, now I'm up, now I'm awake. So how do I rig my environment? And what do I set up with systems? Okay, like if you get distracted on, oh man, I jump into my CRM and I start working, and then all of a sudden I get this text, and then I get this Facebook ding, and I get this notification. Okay, turn all that shit off. I have every notification turned off on my computer, right? When I'm doing core work, man, I put my phone on airplane mode and I dump it in a desk drawer. Like remove those distractions. So setting up your overall systems and your overall environment to make it easy as possible to win and as difficult as possible to lose. So I never like if I have a distraction or something that blocked me or whatever, I assess that and be like, okay, well, how do I need to remove that thing? What can I do to make sure I don't get distracted or blocked by this thing? Part of this is also thinking about, okay, like just self-awareness is really important. What time of the day, like one of the reasons why I get up earlier is I just find that, man, I'm fresher, I'm better in the mornings. And then as the day goes on, 7, 8 o'clock at night, like I'm pretty much freaking useless. Now other people are wired differently. So are you setting your schedule up to optimize your performance? Is your office set up to optimize your performance? Or do you have distractions there? Like this are all things like make it as easy as possible to win, difficult as possible to lose. I know that. So I'll give kind of an example that can all make sense because I have certain standards for myself with my health and fitness, and with my diet. Okay. So I'll give 2 examples here. So this came up during COVID. right? All the gyms got closed down. So I was like, well, shit, my health and fitness supported me. I can't not go to the gym. I can't allow my health and fitness to, like, when am I going to be able to work out? So at that point in time, I was like, I can't have this happen again. Plus even when I was going to the gym, like, I would be pretty consistent, but not 6 days a week consistent, but like 4 to 5 days a week. Some weeks would be 4, some days it would be 5. But then when COVID hit, I was like, okay, I'm gonna set up a home gym. I know not everybody has a luxury to be able to do that, but I got had the room and the finances to go out there and set that up. But then now, like, I have no excuse, no reason. Like, I'm gonna hit that gym 6 days a week. It's there. It's at my house. Doesn't matter what time of day it is, what's going on, what meetings. Like, I have no excuse not to do it. But then from there, from a diet aspect, I know that I'm too weak. Let's just say a long work day, I get done and get home, I'm stressed, my willpower is gone, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. I know that's like when I'm at my weak moment, right? So I just make sure that my favorite junk food is not in that house. Like, dude, you give me a carton of pralines and cream ice cream, I'm gonna crush the living shit out of that thing, and not just have like a bowl. Like, I'm an extremist. I'm eating a whole damn freaking carton, right? So guess what? I rig my environment, make it as easy as possible to win, difficult as possible. If I just make sure my favorite junk foods, snack foods, the bullshit that I know is not good for me, it just isn't around. Out of sight, like, it just isn't. So then I'm not tempted. So this is what I mean by setting up and rigging your environment, make it as easy as possible to win, difficult as possible to lose. So here's the habits I need to adopt. Here's the habits I need to break. Here's the activities I got to be doing. Just thinking about through your systems and through your environment. How do I set this up? Now, environment is, the things that you watch, the things that you listen to, the people that you spend time with, plus your physical environment. All of those things are socio-environment. This is what we got to do assessment with all these things. Maybe you got some bad influences through people in your life that blocking you. Okay, maybe you need to take a break from them. Maybe you need to block them out. Right? Just got to ask you, if you want it bad enough, okay, you're going to do what it takes to make it a reality. So either want it or you don't. There is no in between. Yeah, there's no kinda. You want it or you don't, and your actions show what you truly value with that. So these are my top recommendations and what I personally do to ensure that I'm just a consistent machine, because that's what this all boils down to, right? Like, it's just your daily activities, your daily choices, your daily behaviors. This is what compounds. And here's the thing, the kicker, that where this ends up being the Achilles heel for most is, okay, these little tiny actions that we got to do each and every day, they can seem so insignificant in the moment. But the thing is that they compound over time to the only thing of significance that actually matters. So yeah, that extra phone call, that extra email, that extra, 5 minutes that you don't hit this, snooze button, whatever that little seems so little, seems so insignificant in the moment. But again, they compound over time to then becoming the only thing of significance that matters. So everything matters. Big, small, all matters. So like where you are at right now in your life is just a compounding accumulation of all the decisions that you've made up to this point. So where you're at right now is what you've wanted to this moment, because actions show what you truly value. So this is just a compounding accumulation of every decision, every action that you've made to this moment, that you've been alive, has brought you to this moment where you're at right now. So then ask yourself, okay, am I okay with this moment? Like, if I had to repeat where I'm at in life every day for the rest of my life, am I okay with that? And look, some of you are rocking amazing lives and you're okay with that. But there's going to be others of you, and I've had times in my life where I'm like, I just had to do these, full on assessments where I'm like, fuck no. Like, I don't want to experience the pain that I'm experiencing right now every day for the rest of my life. Okay. Well, this is what we got to deal in realities. We know that the definition of insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different result. No. Okay. If you continue the same choices, same decisions, same actions, same behaviors, you're going to continue. You're just going to keep reliving this day for the rest of your life, and if that's not acceptable to you, okay. Then from there, we got to change your daily actions, daily choices, daily behaviors, daily habits. That's what it comes down to, right? To go out there and turn that situation around. So hopefully this has been helpful. Again, go check out gsdmode.com. Make sure that you register for that masterclass. Hope this was helpful. Truly appreciate all your support. Keep crushing it. Keep kicking ass. I'll see you next time. Peace.